Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive all about immediate loading implants. You might be listening because you're thinking about getting this procedure done yourself. Maybe you're even thinking about heading to India to get it done. Or maybe you're just curious about how it all works. Either way, stick with us because we're going to explore just what makes this procedure a game changer. Best in India, and they claim to have the lowest prices in the world for immediate loading implants. So we're going to dive into their website and see what we can learn. Right off the bat, they ask, why choose immediate loading implants, basal implant, over conventional dental implant?
Yeah, they're not messing around. They want you to know right away that their approach is the best.
And to make their point, they have this table comparing immediate loading implants, which they also call basal implants, with traditional implants. The thing that really stands out is the difference in treatment time.
Oh, absolutely. Immediate loading implants only take 3 to 7 days, but conventional implants, they can take anywhere from 3 months to a year.
Wow. If you need a tooth replaced, that time difference could be life-changing.
It's a huge selling point, for sure.
Now, they keep using the term basal implants. Is that the same thing as immediate loading implants, or is it something different?
So basal implants are a special type of implant. They were designed for people who don't have enough bone density for traditional implants.
So they're helping people who might not have been able to get implants before.
Exactly. These implants are anchored deeper in the jawbone in an area called the basal bone area. This area tends to be much denser and it doesn't lose bone as easily.
That's incredible. So does that mean that with immediate loading implants, you get the implant put in right when the tooth is extracted? There's no waiting like with traditional implants.
That's right. With traditional implants, you have to wait for months after the extraction for the implant to be put in. But with immediate loading implants, it's all done at the same time. And their website lists a whole bunch of benefits of this approach.
Well, let's hear it. What are the advantages they're talking about?
Okay, so they say immediate loading implants have a shorter treatment time, minimal recovery time, and they are minimally invasive. They also say you don't need bone grafting, and they're easy to maintain. And they have long-term results, cost savings, good predictability, a simplified surgical workflow, and high patient satisfaction.
Wow. That's a lot of benefits.
They're definitely not shy about promoting their approach.
Yeah. But are there any downsides? Like, what should potential patients be aware of?
Well, they do mention some things to consider, like making sure they select the right patients and making sure there's enough bone. And they talk about achieving initial stability of the implant, proper treatment planning, and precise implant placement. Oh, and they mention allowing enough healing time.
So it's not as simple as just showing up and getting the implant. There's a lot of planning that goes into it.
Absolutely. This isn't a one-size-fits-all procedure. It's important to select the right patients and make sure the procedure is done correctly.
That makes sense. So who would be a good candidate for immediate loading implants?
According to the website, the ideal candidate is healthy. They should have no pre-existing conditions, and they should have good oral hygiene habits. They also need to have enough bone volume in their upper jaw and good bone quality, no bone diseases, and they can't grind their teeth.
So basically, they're looking for someone who's in good health overall and who has a good foundation for the implant.
Exactly.
So for someone who's thinking, okay, this sounds like it might be right for me, what can they expect during the procedure itself?
So they have a 3-step process. First, they give you anesthesia, remove the damaged tooth, and prep your jawbone and gums for the implant.
So they take the tooth out and put the implant in right away.
Then they put the implant in and give you temporary teeth.
Wow. So you don't have to walk around with a missing tooth.
Exactly. And then after 3 days, they put in your permanent teeth.
3 days.
That's amazing.
It's a really fast procedure.
And this speed is one of the reasons why this procedure is so popular for dental tourism, especially in India. Definitely. They say on their website that you only need to visit once, and you get your permanent teeth in 3 to 7 days. They also offer an international warranty on the implants, and it's possible for people with low bone density to get implants, and even smokers are eligible.
So they're really making implants available to a wider range of people.
Right.
But I bet the cost is a big factor, too.
Oh, for sure. They claim to have the lowest prices in the world for immediate loading implants. That's a huge draw for people who are looking for affordable dental care.
It makes a lot of sense, especially when you consider how fast and efficient the procedure is.
It's definitely a combination of factors that make this a compelling option.
Yeah. It's fascinating how medical advancements and globalization have come together to create opportunities like this. People have more choices now, and they have more control over their healthcare decisions.
I agree. It's really empowering for people to be able to seek out the best care for their needs, no matter where they live. And this is just one example of how healthcare is changing and adapting in our globalized world.
Yeah, it really is remarkable how things have changed. And Best in India seems to be leading the way.
It seems like they're really good at what they do.
I mean, their website is really well designed.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're doing a great job of highlighting both the affordability and the quality of their services.
Yeah, they seem to understand that people might be worried about getting lower quality care if they go overseas.
Exactly. They address that concern directly.
And they don't just offer immediate loading implants either,
Right. They have a whole range of dental procedures listed on their website.
like smile design veneers, crowns.
They even do Invisalign.
It's like a one-stop shop for all your dental needs, especially if you're coming from another country. So let's say I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, okay, this sounds great, but what do I do next?
Mm-hmm.
What does Best in India recommend?
Well, they have a big button on their website that says Get Procedure Cost Inquiry. They really encourage you to reach out to them for a personalized quote.
So they make it easy to get in touch,
Oh, yeah. And they're very transparent about their pricing.
which is great.
They also provide a ton of information about the procedures themselves and what you can expect if you travel to India for treatment.
They really seem to go above and beyond for their patients.
Absolutely. They even help with travel arrangements, accommodation, and sightseeing tours.
It sounds like they're trying to create a really positive experience for their patients.
They want people to feel comfortable and well cared for.
It's really impressive.
It seems like they're really setting the standard for dental tourism.
So we've talked about the procedure itself, the benefits, the ideal candidate, and now the company behind it all. What stands out to you the most about immediate loading implants, especially for someone who might be considering traveling to India for the procedure?
I think it's the combination of speed, affordability, and accessibility.
Yeah.
You can get your teeth replaced in just a few days, and it costs way less than it would in a lot of Western countries. And you have a company that's dedicated to making the whole process as easy as possible.
It's amazing how medical advancements and globalization have created these kinds of opportunities.
It really is. People have more choices now than ever before when it comes to their healthcare.
It's really empowering.
This is just one example of how healthcare is changing and adapting in our increasingly interconnected world.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
And you know, Best in India is really making it happen.
So we've covered a lot. We've talked about the procedure, the advantages, who it's good for the company. We even talked about dental tourism. But what about the bigger picture?
Yeah.
What does all this tell us about the future of dental care?
Well, I think we're seeing a shift towards procedures that are faster and less invasive. More patient-centered.
Yeah, like immediate loading implants. What other amazing innovations are coming? I mean, can you imagine a world where replacing a tooth is as easy as getting a filling?
I think it's definitely possible. With all the advancements in biomaterials and 3D printing and regenerative dentistry, who knows what the future holds?
And maybe it'll be even more affordable and accessible, too.
Hopefully, yeah. The goal is to make these kinds of treatments available to everyone who needs them, no matter where they live or how much money they have.
That's a future I can get behind. But for now, immediate loading implants seem like a great option for people who need a tooth replaced. It's fast, it's effective, and it's affordable. It's incredible to think that you could travel to another country, get this procedure done, and be back home with a new smile in just a few days.
It really is remarkable.
So for our listeners who are thinking, this sounds great, but where do I even start? What would you recommend?
I would say do your research, talk to some dentists, and see if it's right for you. And if you are thinking about going to India, I definitely reach out to Best in India for a consultation.
That's good advice. It's always a good idea to be informed. So that wraps up our deep dive into immediate loading implants. We hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned a thing or two. It's amazing what can happen when innovation and accessibility come together. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing and those smiles shining.